Groaners, welcome to episode 54 of your favourite groany place, that being the Groan Zone. Bit of an update for you before we go on. We are almost at 700 downloads, and then the further push to 100k. 100k? I wish I was that high. 1k begins. It's all thanks to you, Groaners. Yes, you. Oop, and I nearly forgot, you too. Well, I smell fireworks in the air, which can amount to one thing for the UK this weekend. It's Bonfire Night on the 5th of November, that being Sunday. For those who don't know or didn't catch last year's episode, Bonfire Night is the time we celebrate a guy, literally, his name is Guy, who tried to blow up Parliament. Guess there's a bit of anarchy in everybody though. Speaking of anarchy, what have we got for you? Coming up, we have the Groan 3-piece of the week. We have, once again, Double Down Dummies and the £5 Countdown as your locked and loaded games this week. We have a blast from the past with our audience groan. And of course, oh, unlucky! Creepy Corner and Zero of the Week also make a comeback as well. That's the fuse lit, and so it begins. We'll jump straight in with our first random Bonfire Night fact. At age 21, Guy Fawkes sold the estate he inherited and joined the Catholic Spanish army, where he was promoted to captain and gained knowledge of gunpowder. He also adopted the Italian name of Guido. With that fact stated, we're going to shift it along straight into my groans. And here we go. Number 1. People who use fireworks to actively hurt others. Let me make it clear. It's going to be stated many times in this episode, you should never ever misuse fireworks. Number 2. Fireworks being sold to everyone. This I disagree with. They should only be sold to responsible adults for private, registered occasions or displays. Not to Joe Blogs, well, I'm going to light them off in my front garden for a laugh. Number 3. Unregistered public bonfires. Bonfires should only be lit in a controlled environment and be registered so the fire brigade know what is happening. All you need is one bonfire to go out of control, and then you have serious problems. That's my groans launched off into the stratosphere. On with the show. We'll duck and cover for our first game, which is the 5-point countdown. It's been a while since we played this, so I remind you people out there. 5 clues starting at 5 points. Points lessen as the clues go down. Guess correctly and hold on to that answer to secure your points. You change your mind and you're wrong, you risk losing points. So it's all about, do you stick or do you twist? Here we go. Clue number 5. Without me, there would be no fireworks. Hit it, Groaners. Give me your answers. If you're playing along after it's been recorded, have a think, answer. You might be right, you never know. Okay, good answer of gunpowder there. Any more? Someone said suppler. I don't know what that means, but okay. Any more answers, anyone? Nope, people still thinking. Gonna have to move it along, I'm afraid. Clue number 4. When used, you get a lot of bang for your buck. Same thing as before, Groaners. Play along after the fact. Pause. Have a think. Answer. Any more answers coming in? Anyone? So far we've had answer of gunpowder. Any more answers? Okay. Gonna have to move it along, Groaners. Clue number 3. I am not only found in fireworks. Someone's wrote sulfate. Okay. That's a good one. Alright. So we've had sulfate and gunpowder so far. Any more? Okay. Moving on. Number 2. Guy Fawkes used me in his plot. Any further answers? So far it's sulfate, gunpowder. Any more? People are still thinking. Give you a little bit longer, Groaners. Okay, we've had gunpowder again. Moving along to the last one. Number 1. Unless registered to use me, it is illegal to use me. Okay, we've had more gunpowder entered in. Okay. Any more? nope, gonna call it there, Groaners. Where did you score points? You'll find out later on before the end of the show. We're gonna launch another rocket off here, straight into creepy corner because it's story time now. Let's get creepy with it. Today's story is The Perfect Smile. Deep in the night, when you're fast asleep, that tiny tooth gets swapped for a single coin. A coin of chocolate that will never melt. Have you ever looked closely at the wrapper? Right near the end, or the edge I should say, is a tiny crown. A simple hint of its proof from the Tooth Fairy, sure. But what colour is that crown, and what does it really mean? Valencia Owens was a sweet girl born with perfect teeth. As soon as she could walk and had all her teeth come through, her parents were making a lot of money from her prize-winning smile. Just a child, she didn't know any better than to make her parents happy, so as she grew up, she did as she was told. She performed whenever and wherever, and as a result, her parents became rich. They loved her more than life itself, but then again, she was merely a child and would say it that way. The beautiful innocence of children is truly magical. One fateful day, under the blistering summer sun, everything changed. She was 7 at the time. Everything was perfect. She had been pretty worried the week before since she lost her first tooth, and thought her parents would be worried about her smile. But somehow, it made her more believable, which got her more jobs. This naturally made her parents even more money. She always regretted that day under the sun. She was taking a rest from filming something in the park when she decided to take a small walk. Not too far, of course. She knew to stay in the sight of her parents. As she looked past a row of trees, she saw a big oak tree with a swing tied to one of its branches. A few of the children her age looked to be having so much fun with it. She was never allowed such things. She lived to work because playing didn't make her parents happy. The kids left soon after, and Valencia looked around at her parents and they weren't paying attention. Just a few minutes, she thought, just to see what's so fun. So she did. She followed what she saw the kids doing, and the swing began to move. The wind blowing her hair felt so freeing to her. It was something she wasn't used to, but as she was shocked back into reality by her parents calling her, her hand slipped off the rope and she fell to the ground. The scream brought them to her, and as they looked down at their precious daughter, their smile turned to horror as Valencia smiled, within her busted and crooked teeth. What hurt more wasn't the pain she was in, but knowing her parents' horror was more about her no longer perfect teeth than her pain. Watching from a tiny distance stood an old man, with a tiny fairy on his shoulder. Unknown to her, they were watching and talking to one another. "Are you sure she's the one?" the fairy asked. "This is the moment we've been waiting for. Reality has crashed, and now we wait. She will be one of us," the old man replied. Damn, Nichole. These just get creepier and creepier. Wonderful stuff. But we are now going to Catherine Wheel Spin over to the audience groan now. So we had a groan sent in via letter dated 5th of November 1605 from a certain Mr. Guy Fawkes. And he groans about how he hates being hung, drawn and quartered, as well as hating people who mess about with fireworks. He also hates governments. Well, so we don't get in bother here at Groan Zone headquarters. The less said about anti-government plots, the better. Can't say I've ever hung, drawn or quartered myself. The only thing I've drawn is me curtains. But yes, I do agree that people should not mess about with fireworks, and Admin Nichole agrees with me here wholeheartedly. Leave it to the professional people and do not risk injury this bonfire night. Well, that's our first postal groan, you could say, even though it was from the past. Probably our only one until I get a PO box set up, that is, for the Groan Zone. If you'd like to groan in like Mr. Fawkes did, then you can rocket them to us in a few ways. You can load up an email and fire it across to us at thegroanzonepod@gmail.com. Blast off verbally if you know us in person at Groan Zone headquarters. Explosively sound off at the Groan Zone podcast Facebook group. Whiz me a message on Facebook Messenger under Mystery Groaner. And lastly, shine like a sparkler on the Groan Zone podcast Discord channel. And don't forget, we also accept your Hero or Zero of the Week nominations, within reason. your oh unlucky stories, and your feedback. But from Groans, the more facts. Here we go with random Bonfire Night fact number 2. The cellar that Fawkes once used to store his ammunition no longer exists, but the ones that do remain are checked annually still to this day before the state opening of Parliament in the UK. But now, double down dummies, it's back again. I know last week I said one time only, but a classic is still a classic. Here we go. Igniting fireworks the easy way. When did this happen? January 1998. And where? Indonesia. As we're all aware, there are safe ways of lighting fireworks, and as you've guessed, there are more dumber ways to do it. Firecrackers are illegal to purchase in Indonesia, but they can be bought on the black market when Eid al-Fitr rolls around, which is the feast marking the end of Ramadan. So in short, these guys found some way to get a hold of a motherload of firecrackers. And in January, Aisumuddin, a 28-year-old from Kenongo, and Maktijo, a 20-year-old from Talesh, obtained a pretty large quantity of firecrackers. But what ignition method led to their ends? Was it option A? They poured petrol all over the firecrackers and lit them. The explosion killed them both and could be heard 2 kilometers away. Was it option B? They hooked up severed powered cables to the fuse, and whilst Kenongo died of electrocution, Matkijo died when the firecrackers exploded. Someone's gone in for A straight away. Wait a minute, I haven't read all the options out yet. Option C. They connected the detonation fuse to a motorcycle battery and started the engine. The resulting explosion killed them both. Go Groaners, give me your answers. Those playing live after the fact, press pause, have a think, answer unpause. Okay, we're getting a mixed spread here. Someone's gone for A, they went straight for A, and someone's gone for B. Okay, any more? Any more Groaners? Oh, there's some more for A, couple for C, another B there. Any more? Okay, that's it Groaners. You think you got the answer? We'll find out before the end of the show. We're now going to flip over to Oh Unlucky. Yep, we've hit the part of the show where we show off some of the more unlucky people in life. The following happened in Egypt in August 1995. It's not related to fireworks, unfortunately. That would have been great if it was. However, 6 people drowned on that Monday while trying to rescue a chicken that had fallen into a well in southern Egypt. An 18-year-old farmer was the first to descend into the 60-foot well. He drowned, apparently, after an undercurrent in the water pulled him down. Police said his sister and 2 brothers, none of who could swim pretty well, went in one by one to help him, but were also claimed by the undercurrent. And then 2 elderly farmers then came to help, but the same undercurrent claimed them as well. The bodies of the 6 were then later pulled out of the well in the village of Nazlat Imara, that's 240 miles south of Cairo. On a happier note though, the chicken was rescued eventually and survived. But that's a lot to go through for a chicken, I've got to say. Those poor, unlucky people. But I'm glad the chicken made it. I'm glad the chicken did make it. If you're listening, chicken, well done. Well done. But now let's take it over to random Bonfire Night fact number 3. A tribute to Guido is an uninhabited outcrop of the Galapagos Islands named Guy Fawkes Island. The origins remain a mystery, but it is possible it was a tribute to his days spent in the Spanish military. Interesting to know. We now have our zero of the week. Well, as was stated, it's Bonfire Night on the 5th of November. And people get stupid in the run-up to it. The following moron is the perfect example of this. So this idiot's actions occurred on the 1st of November in 2018. He laid on the ground and let his mates stick a firework up his poop chute. The long firework was then lit and the idiot could be heard screaming nervously, "It's going to burn me arse!" as he gets more apprehensive. The firework went off as he pushed up from the floor and was then pushed back to the floor with the force of the explosion. All of his mates were laughing. I mean, this sounds like something out of Jackass, but no, this actually happened outside of TV. Please do not be like this utter sausage. 0 of the week dishonours for this utter muppet. I'm just in despair here of how dense people can truly be. I mean, really? But hopefully you, my dear Groan crew, can relieve me of that by scoring points in the games. Here are your game answers. The answer to the £5 countdown was gunpowder. Yes, few people smacked it in there, so try to remember where you put it. I think someone got 5 points. I think that was Admin Nichole. Well played if you got straight in there. I probably made it a bit too easy, but well played. And next we have Double Down Dummies answers. If you picked option A, they poured petrol all over the firecrackers and lit them, and then the explosion killed them both and could be heard 2 kilometers away, you're wrong. That was one of mine. If you picked option B, they hooked up severed high voltage power cables to the firecrackers' fuse, and whilst one of them died of electrocution, the other died when the firecrackers exploded, you're also wrong. That was one of mine as well. If you picked option C, they connected the detonation fuses to a motorcycle battery and then started the engine, and then the resultant explosion killed them both, you'd be correct. The explosion could be heard 2 kilometers away. Onlookers did try to rescue them, but the burns were too severe. Both guys died at the scene and 8 others were treated at a local hospital for burns. Wow. That just shows respect fireworks in any shape or form. Stay safe, Groaners in the UK, this bonfire night. Please be careful if you've got kids, keep an eye on them, and remember, don't pick up a sparkler by the hot end, just leave it alone. And please, don't do anything stupid this bonfire night, please. Take care, Groaners. We'll see you next week for the Remembrance Day episode. Take care. Bye-bye.
Remember, the 5th of November. Gunpowder, treason and plot.